Hi everyone, welcome back. Section 80 of Sambhava continued. Vaishampayan said, then Kavya, the foremost of Brigu's line, became angry himself, and approaching Vishwaparvan, where the latter was seated, began to address him without weighing his words. O king, he said, sinful acts do not, like the earth, bear fruit immediately, but gradually and secretly do they extirpate their doers. Such fruit visiteth either in one's own self, one's son, or one's grandson. Sins must bear their fruit. Like rich fruit, they can never be digested. And because ye slew the Brahman Kacha, the grandson of Angiras, who was virtuous, acquainted with precepts of religion, and attentive to his duties while residing in my abode, even for this act of slaughter and for the maltreatment of my daughter too, know, O Vishwaparvan, I shall leave thee and thy relatives. Indeed, O king, for this I can no longer stay with thee. Thou, dost thou, O Asura chief, think that I was raving liar? Thou makest light of thy offense without seeking to correct it. Vishwaparvan then said, O son of Bhrigu, never have I attributed want of virtue or falsehood to thee. Indeed, virtue and truth ever dwell in thee. Be kind to me, O Bhargava. If, leaving us, thou really goest hence, we shall then go into the depths of the ocean. Indeed, there is nothing else for us to do. Shukra then replied, Ye Asuras, wherever ye go into the depths of the ocean or fly away to all directions, I care little. I am unable to bear my daughter's grief. My daughter is ever dear to me. My life dependent on her. Seek ye to please her. As Brihaspati ever seeketh the good of Indra, so do I always seeketh thine by my ascetic merit. Vishwaparvan then said, O Bhargava, thou art the absolute master of whatever is possessed by the Asura chief in the world, their elephants, kine, and horses, and even my humble self. Shukra then answered, If this is true, O great Asura, that I am the lord of all the wealth of the Asuras, then go and gratify Devyani. Vaishampayan continued. When the great Kavya was so addressed by Vaishampayan, he then Vishwaparvan, he then went to Devyani and told her all. Devyani, however, quickly replied, O Bhargava, if thou art truly the lord of the Asura king himself and of all his wealth, then let the king himself come to me and say so in my presence. Vishwaparvan then approached Devyani and told her, O Devyani of sweet smiles, whatever thou darest, I am willing to give thee. However difficult it may be to grant the same. Devyani answered, I desire Sharmishta with 1,000 maids to wait on me. She must also follow me to where my father may give me away. Vishwaparvan then commanded a maidservant in attendance on him, saying, Go and quickly bring Sharmishta hither. Let her also accomplish what Devyani wisheth. Vishwaparvan continued. The maidservant then repaired to Sharmishta and told her, O amiable Sharmishta, rise and follow me. Accomplish the good of thy relatives. Urged by Devyani, the Brahman Shukra is on the point of leaving his disciples, the Asuras. O sinless one, thou must do what Devyani wisheth. Sharmishta replied, I shall cheerfully do what Devyani wisheth. Urged by Devyani, Shukra is calling me. Both Shukra and Devyani must not leave the Asuras through my fault. Vaishampayan continued. Commanded by her father then, Sharmishta, accompanied by 1,000 maidens, soon came in a palanquin out of her father's excellent mansion. And approaching Devyani, she said, With my 1,000 maids I am thy waiting maid, and I shall follow thee where thy father may give thee away. Devyani replied, I am the daughter of the one who chanteth the praise of thy father, and who beggeth and accepted alms. Thou, on the other hand, art the daughter of one who is adored. how canst thou be my waiting maid? Sharmishta answered, one must by all means contribute to the happiness of one's afflicted relatives. Therefore shall I follow thee wherever thy father may give thee away. Vaishampayan continued. Then Sharmishta thus promised to be Devyani's waiting maid. The latter, O king, then spoke unto her father thus: O best of all excellent Brahmins, I am gratified. I shall now enter the Asura capital. I now know that thy science and power of knowledge are not futile. Vaishampayan continued, the best of Brahmins of great reputation, thus addressed by his daughter, then entered the Asura capital in the gladness of his heart, and the Danavas worshipped him with great reverence. Section 81, Sambhava Parv continued. Vaishampayan said, after some length of time, O best of monarchs, Devyani of the fairest complexion went into the same woods for purpose of pleasure, and accompanied by Sharmishta with 1,000 maids, she reached the same spot and began to wander freely. And waited upon by all those companions, she felt supremely happy. And sporting with light hearts, they began drinking the honey and flowers, eating various kinds of fruits, and biting some. And just at the time, King Yayati, the son of Nahusha, came there, tired and thirsty in course of his wanderings in search of deer. And the king saw Devyani and Sharmishta, and those other maidens also, all decked with celestial ornaments and full of voluptuous languor in consequence of the flower honey they drank. And Devyani of sweet smiles, unrivalled of beauty and possessed of the fairest complexion amongst them all, was reclining at her ease. And she was waited upon by Sharmishta, who was gently kneading her feet. And Yayati, seeing all this, said, O amiable one, I would ask you both your names and parentage. It seems that these 2,000 maids wait on you too. Hearing the monarch, Devyani then answered, listen to me, O best of men. Know that I am the daughter of Shukra, the spiritual guide of the Asuras. This, my companion, is my mating maid. She attendeth on me wherever I go. She is Sharmishtha, the daughter of the Asura king Vishwaparvan. Yayati then asked, I am curious to know why is thy companion of fair eyebrows, this maiden of the fairest complexion, the daughter of the Asura chief, thy waiting maid? Devyani replied, O best of king, everything resulteth from fate. Knowing this also to be the result of fate, wonder not at it. Wonder not at it. Thy feature and attire are both like a king's. Thy speech is also fair and correct as that of the Vedas. Tell me thy name, whence thou art, and whose son also. The monarch replied, during my vow of brahmacharya, the whole Vedas entered my ears. I am known as Yayati, a king's son, and myself a king. Devyani then inquired, O king, what hast thou come here for? Is it to gather lotuses, or to ankle, or to hunt? Yayati said, O amiable one, thirsty from the pursuit of deer, I have come hither in search of water. I am very much fatigued. I await but your commands to leave this spot. Devyani answered, with my 2,000 damsels and my waiting maid Shirmishta, I wait but your commands. Prosperity to thee. Be thou my friend and lord. Yayati thereupon replied, beautiful one, I do not deserve thee. Thou art the daughter of Shukra, far superior to me. Thy father cannot bestow thee even to the great king. To this Devyani replied, Brahmins had before this been united with Kshatriyas and Kshatriyas with Brahmins. Thou art the son of a rishi and thyself a rishi. Therefore, O son of Nahusha, marry me. Yayati, however, replied, O thou of handsomest features, the four orders have indeed sprung from one body, but their duties and purity are not the same. and the Brahmins being truly superior to all. Devyani answered, "This hand of mine had never been touched before by any man save thee. Therefore, do I accept thee for my lord. How indeed shall any other man touch my hand, which had been before been touched by thyself, who art a rishi?" Yayati then said, "The wise know that a Brahmin is more to be avoided than an angry snake of virulent poison or a blazing fire of spreading flames." Devyani then told the monarch, "O bull amongst men, why dost thou indeed say that Brahmin should be more avoided than an angry snake of virulent poison or a blazing fire or spreading flames?" The monarch answered, "The snake killeth only one. The sharpest weapon slayeth but a single person. The Brahmin, when angry, destroyeth whole cities and kingdoms. Therefore, O timid one, do I deem a Brahmin as more to be avoided than either? I cannot hence wed thee, O amiable one, unless thy father bestoweth thee on me." Devyani then said, "Thou art indeed chosen by me, and O king, it is understood that thou wilt accept me if my father bestoweth me on thee. Thou needest not fear to accept my poor self bestowed on thee. Thou dost not indeed ask for me." Vaishampayan continued. After this, Devyani quickly sent a maidservant to her father. The maid represented to Shukra everything as it had happened. And as soon as he had heard all, Bhargava came and saw Yayati. And beholding Bhargava came, Yayati worshipped and adored that Brahmin and stood with joined palms in expectation of his commands. And Devyani then said, "This, O father, is the son of Nahusha. He took hold of my hand when I was in distress. I bow to thee. Bestow me upon him. I shall not wed any other person in the world." Shukra exclaimed, "O thou of splendid courage, thou hast indeed been accepted as her lord by my dear daughter. I bestow her on thee. Therefore, O son of Nahusha, accept her as thy wife." Yayati then said, "I solicit the boon, O Brahmin, and by doing so the sin of begetting a half breed might not touch me." Shukra, however, assured him by saying, "I shall absolve thee from the sin. Ask thou the boon that thou desirest. Fear not to wed her. I grant thee ablutions. Maintain virtuously thy wife, the slender waisted Devyani. Transports of happiness be thine in her company. This other maiden, Vishwaparvan's daughter, Sharmishta, should ever be regarded by thee. But thou shalt not summon her to thy bed." Vaishampayan continued. Thus addressed by Shukra, Yayati then walked around the Brahmin, and the king then went through the auspicious ceremony of marriage according to the rites of the scriptures. And having received from Shukra this rich treasure of the excellent Devyani with Sharmishta and those 2,000 maidens, and duly honored also by Shukra himself and the Asuras, the best of monarchs, then, commanded by the high-souled Bhargava, returned to his capital with joyous heart. With this, we come to an end to this section of Mahabharat. Until next time, this is your host, Madhulika Rajahan, signing off. Stay healthy always. Narayan Narayan.